So you've done a lot of work that's set here. You've done a lot of work elsewhere in the UK, but you are an absolutely stellar international star, having played in so many amazing films, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that's an amazing career, and then along comes Succession. Well, and I know you're not allowed to talk about it.
No, I'm not allowed to talk about Succession.
But I'm going to invite you to talk about it.
Okay, so we can talk about it. No, what happened was that, you know, I'm in my mid-70s now, and when I was young, people said, "Oh, Brian, it's going to be the long haul for you." I didn't know it was going to be this fucking long. You know? I mean, I go, Jesus Christ. So, and then when Jesse and this is one of the things when Jesse and Adam McKay, who was the ostensible producer, who's directed The Big Short, you know, wonderful director, and he did our pilot. When we had the conversation, Jesse was in Italy, I was in London, Adam McKay was in LA, so we had this three-way conversation across the waves. And I suggested that Logan Roy could be Scots. I said, because we were talking about it, and I said, maybe Logan could be Scots. And Jesse said, oh, no, he has to be American, he's got to be American, he can't be Scots. Adam McKay, on the other hand, who is really known, he's really Adam Mackay, but they call it McKay for some strange reason. He said, I think that's a great idea. I like that idea. And Jesse said, no, he must be American. So they decided in the first pilot that I was born in Quebec, which isn't really America, you know. So I decided, okay, so I'll do Maine. You know, I've spent a lot of time in Maine, so I thought that's the border. So, because Canadian accent's very hard to do, so I thought, okay. So I did it, and in the ninth episode of the first series, I'm not supposed to talk about Succession, by the way, but anyway. So in the ninth episode of the first series, Peter Friedman, who plays Frank, who I keep firing and rehiring, you know, and he came up and he said, I've just done an ADR session. Now, an ADR is a dubbing session. It's a post-syncing, where you post-sync. And he said, yeah, they've changed your birthplace. I said, what? He said, yeah, they've changed your birthplace. I said, what do you mean? He said, you're not born in Quebec anymore. I said, so where am I born? He said, I can't remember. Hang on. So he goes and he gets his device out and he goes, oh yeah, hang on, I got it here. So he goes, oh yeah, here. Oh yeah, somewhere called Dundee, Scotland. And I said, well, that's where I was born. And he said, well, that's a coincidence. I said, it's a hell of a fucking coincidence. And I went up to Jesse and I said, what happened? Why am I suddenly... He said, oh, we thought it'd be a little surprise. That's fucking writers for you. That's fucking writers for you. So I didn't really have a problem.
And that then, as a result, opened up all kinds of opportunities for you. For those who've not seen the series that we're not allowed to discuss, you've shot in Dundee.
Yeah. That was the great thing, of course, you know, to come back to one's hometown. I mean, I never expected that.
You had the wrong football club bought for you?
Oh, no, that was so funny, because I thought they were going to go for either Dundee or Dundee United, but I was worried about that. I said, you know, I have to be very careful, because I'm bipartisan. I have to be bipartisan to Dundee United, because I'm a Dundonian. I can't prefer one club over another. That's the way it is. And they said, okay, fine. So they came up with Hibs and Hearts. And they said, so he goes off, the boy buys Hearts when he's supposed to buy Hibs. He buys the wrong club. Now, I'm told at the Hearts ground, they have Waystar Royco signs all over. I mean, talk about art copying life. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know.
Your relationship with Logan Roy, what do you feel about him as a...
I love him. Well, you can't... I think he's one of the most, what I love about Logan, first of all, he's self-made. Unlike all those other guys like Trump, like Murdoch, like Conrad Black, who inherited everything, He did it all himself. So there's that impetus, which is slightly different from their impetus. So he's a self-made man, but he's also, he's a misanthrope. He's also kind of unhappy. And his curse is he loves his children. If he didn't love his children, life would be a lot easier for him. But he does love his children. And people go, why is he so horrible? And I think, look, the story is, he's trying to find a successor for the family, for the business, and he wants to do it within his family. What's wrong with that? That's understandable. But he is foul-mouthed, and he's affected me in that way. I mean, I never used to swear as much as I did until I played Logan. And the other thing, too, that is interesting about it, he's very private. So there's a secret about Logan, which I love, that secret. So I've kind of grown to sort of have enormous respect for him, even though he's the antithesis of who I am. The one thing that we have in common is a deep disappointment in the human experiment. You know, we think human beings are totally fucked. And I agree with them. So that's the thing that we have in common. But I'm an optimist. I think things will get better. And I believe in that. No, Logan is not an optimist. I mean, Logan would hate me. If Logan met me, he would find me tiresome, boring, and I wish that fucking Cox would just shut the fuck up, you know. I mean...
Now that is life imitating art.
That's life imitating art. So, you know, but I have enormous respect for Logan, and people misunderstand him. They go, like there's this episode, I'm not allowed to talk about that, am I? So, it's a past episode, so maybe is there anybody from HBO here?
I'm not seeing any hands. No, there's no, I'm not seeing any hands.
No,
You're okay.
So anyway.
Nobody will tell anybody.
No.
Or tweet about it, will you? No, good.
No, he's a really interesting character, and also he's beautifully not overwritten. I mean, he's just tight in the writing, and I love that aspect of him, you know, because you can fill it in, you know.